Oh, yeah.
Розумів. А вот тут друган мой бывал точно. Ща к барыгам, а потом по бабам.
You don't mind buddies go. Right over here.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd they go? Huh. Huh. Sure, there's a shitload of scabs here, so somebody would come so we can fight.
Розумів.
Somebody just got killed.
Вали хуесоса!
There you go. Lovely cheetah there. Do you? Wonderful.
Let's catch up with the ongoing conversation in Washington. Because while the movement in the streets has been building up steam, Democrats in Washington have been scrambling for a way to respond. And yesterday, I think they figured it out.
Democratic lawmakers are receiving criticism after a silent tribute to George Floyd in the U.S. Congress yesterday. Some were not a fan of the colorful kente cloth scarf draped around their necks, saying they turned the traditional African textile into a political prop.
Okay, I understand the symbolic gesture of kneeling to remember George Floyd. What I don't understand is why they had to dress like extras from Coming to America too. In fact, a lot of people were confused about why the Democrats wore African cloth to talk about George Floyd and police brutality. It felt like they were trying too hard. But I'm going to be honest, I was just glad that they managed to talk Nancy Pelosi down from the original outfit she had planned. It was a step too far. And look, however much you want to blame Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats for doing this, we also have to assign some of the blame to the African store owner who knew full well that no good can come from one person buying 50 kente cloths. No, Nancy, you have to trust me, eh? The more kente cloth you wear, the less offensive it becomes. Okay, bye-bye. Now, to be fair, the Democrats weren't just kneeling and wearing kente cloth. They also unveiled police reform legislation that would make some pretty big changes. It would ban no-knock warrants in drug cases to try and avoid situations like the one that got Breonna Taylor killed while she was sleeping in her own bed. It would make chokeholds a civil rights violation to try and prevent police from taking another Eric Garner's life. And one of the biggest measures in this legislation would make it easier to prosecute police who use excessive force, as opposed to now where it's almost impossible to convict a police officer if they've done something wrong. Like now you need to catch them on video, then have a DA that's willing to prosecute them, then have a jury that actually wants to hold cops accountable. And even if you get all that, you still need to find the cops' Horcrux and destroy it. Otherwise, they just get to go back out on the force. But while Democrats are proposing legislation to reform the police, unsurprisingly, most Republicans in Congress don't seem to be on board. And as for President Trump, he's doubling down hard on his support for the police.
President Trump held a meeting with police union officials and local and state law enforcement officials yesterday at the White House. He vowed there will be no dismantling of American policing.
There won't be defunding. There won't be dismantling of our police. And there's not going to be any disbanding of our police. Our police have been letting us live in peace, and we want to make sure we don't have any bad actors in there. And sometimes you'll see some horrible things like we witnessed recently, but 99, I say 99.9, but let's go with 99% of them are great, great people.
Yes, 99% of all police are great people. And I guess it's just unlucky that protesters happen to keep meeting with the bad 1% over and over and over again. I guess those guys work a lot of overtime. And you know, I always find it amazing how Trump manages to always see the good in the groups that he likes. He says that the police are 99% great people. Charlottesville, he said there were people that were good on both sides. He said the armed protesters in Michigan, the same people who stormed the State House, were very good people who were just frustrated. Like clearly, if you're on Trump's good side, he will find a way to interpret anything you do in the best way possible. Like if Trump likes you, he could walk in on you in bed with his wife and he'd probably be like, my wife and my best friend taking a nap together. Good people. Now look, let's be clear. I'm not saying that all cops are bad. But the problems with the police are much more widespread than Trump is acknowledging. Because every single time a police department gets audited or investigated, the results that come back time and time again show deep rots and systemic issues, often from the top. It's like turning on a black light in a hotel room. There's no way you're only going to find one stain. And unlike Mitt Romney, who was marching in Washington over the weekend saying Black Lives Matter, Trump has never expressed support for the Black Lives Matter movement. And yesterday, his press secretary claimed that Trump doesn't need to say Black Lives Matter because his support with black people is overwhelming.
Kelly, does he agree in general the way that Mitt Romney stated over the weekend he does with the core message of Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, Mitt Romney can say 3 words outside on Pennsylvania Avenue, but I would note this, that President Trump won 8% of the black vote, Mitt Romney won 2% of the black vote.
Okay, firstly, that's bullshit. Romney didn't get 2% of the black vote. He got 6% while running against the only black president ever. But either way, this is just sad. I can't even believe this is a thing. You're going to brag about getting 8% of the black vote? Really? 8% out of 100? Bragging about getting 8% of the black vote is like some loser bragging to his friend, like, you know how Susie said she just sees you as a friend? Well, she told me she sees me as an older brother. So, Trump's position on the protesters, around him defending the police, around Black Lives Matter, it seems pretty clear. But just in case you were willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, well, this morning, the President of the United States tweeted this.
President Trump is questioning the motives of the 75-year-old activist shoved to the ground by Buffalo police officers during a protest last Friday. The president tweeted, Martin Gugino could be an Antifa provocateur, and said, I watched. He fell harder than was pushed. Could be a setup. Gugino remains in serious but stable condition at the hospital.
This is one of the more alarming tweets we have ever seen from President Trump. It appears to be based on a news clip from the One America News Network, which is a network for conspiracy theory kooks.
Gugino is a longtime peace activist and volunteer for Catholic Worker, which is a movement dedicated to justice and peace.
Yeah. Trump is so desperate to defend the police that instead of admitting that maybe they used excessive force and that none of them helped a person who was bleeding out on the ground, he turns around and blames the old man from that video for being an Antifa provocateur who busted his head open on purpose. And I mean, I can't believe that I actually have to say, but like, that is some batshit crazy theory. Let me tell you something. If someone came up to me with a plan that involved me busting my head open on the sidewalk, I would ask them to come up with a better plan. I mean, how do you look at that video, see that old man, and think that he's an Antifa provocateur? You think that old man is causing chaos? Who sees that?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Watch the movie Up, and he thinks it's a story about an elderly terrorist who hijacks a balloon house. But I guess with this tweet and everything else that Trump has said and done over the past couple of weeks,
Cheers, buddy.
Trump has clearly picked which side he is on in this debate. And, I mean, forget about 8% of the black vote. If this is Trump's attitude towards reforming the police, well, there's no kente cloth in the world big enough to make up for it. Well, that's our show for tonight. But before we go, The Daily Show and Comedy Central have been donating to 3 groups who are fighting against police brutality and systemic racism: the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, the Equal Justice Initiative, and the Bail Project. Now, if you'd like to help, and you can donate, then all you have to do is go to the following link and give whatever you can. Until tomorrow, stay safe out there.
Alright, shit. Started on the wrong fucking side. God damn it. I really don't like this scope. The central part is just, I don't know. I never seem to, I don't seem to instinctively put the top of the arrow on for some reason. Was that a player or a scav? That was the question. It's a scav. So where was he running? Someone's gotta be coming. I don't know why, but that feels to me like the center. So that's on his head there for me. Instead of that. Set that properly, shall we? We need 9 more player kills in order to finish Punisher Part 6 and get our case. Oh. Looks like a scav, eh? Yeah, it's a scav. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, he's there. Where's the shack? It's there, is it? I guess that's the shack. Yeah, that's the shack. This is the sandbags here, right? Still the scav, I guess. Yeah. Tempting, tempting. Let's see if he starts fighting someone. So he's dead. So it looks like they killed him. Poor bastard. Poor scav was just going about his life. He didn't cause anybody any problems. So that old guy who's in Antifa fell over harder than he should have. I need 9 kills. Maybe I'll go further that way. Generally people run across this thing all the time. I don't know why nobody's running across it now. I'm gonna go to 303, and then I gotta come all the way back here and plant it over here. So that'll be fun. I do know where I'm surviving this, but... Alright, so let's see, that looks like the center. Is that on his head? Ah, it's close, I guess. Okay, I guess I'll move. Move up and across and see if I can see anything over here. This is a pretty good spot as well, actually. I think that's in dorms, that's so far away. Okay, now I can see more. I'm actually looking with my head a lot of the time, just out of habit. It looks like a person, eh? Oh, where the fuck is everyone? There's just like 3 or 4 people that run across here. Hey. Oh, there's one. Ah, no, it's a scav again. What you been up to? Hey, what's up? Well, alright, I guess I got killed by a cheetah last round again, but... And a scav guy just... a WTV guy just appeared out of nowhere and one-shot me. Glad I was on my PMC geared or anything. I did 2... I got Gluha again. Did I get him again twice? Or did I get him again? I got him again at least once, maybe twice since we show. I'll play. See, it seems pretty much up. Yeah, yeah. Seems like he's pretty much all the time. He's up all the time. Yeah. I didn't have that much loot because I'm only taking in like scav backpacks, but yeah, I got quite a fair bit. I get out on the train now, pretty much. Seems it's pretty easy actually. I haven't died once getting to the train. Killed a couple of people trying to get to the train, but I just wait for the second honk, which is like the 30-second honk or the 1-minute honk, and then I just fucking go for the train, you know, fairly quickly, and then hunker down for the last 10-20 seconds. Oh, was that a person? No. Just... You done what?
The train.
Yeah, I think I've only ever tried getting out of the train. I think I got out of the hermetic when somebody else has pushed it as well once or twice, but Where the fuck is everybody? There's usually tons of people here. Surely get a little bit down. And a beautiful shot on this guy when he was moving, but it ended up being a scav even though he was running. No, he was running out, I couldn't see anyone. I found a really nice place actually to camp in reserve. You know, like the the hill that goes up to the orb, with the first gun you come up to, right? Just past the gun on the rock, there's like a bush. You can hide on the other side of the bush, so nobody can see you, and you're like super open, but it's really difficult to see you on the rock. Oh, you could glue her from there as well. He was over by one of the night buildings, I think it is, or rook buildings on the left. Killed 2 players there as well. But problem is I gotta get to 303 and back again to the cabin and then out, so can't leave it too late. So I've been trying to wait for somebody to come across here, but where the fuck everybody is. So I got tons of food and drink. And Ghost Freak was saying that he goes across here every single time, across the bridge, because it's just hard cover. And he's one of the better customs players around. But most people seem to go across down here, right? Down.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man, it's so loud now. I actually quite like this second area as well. The second crossing seems less common. Scav? Yeah, scav. Oh yeah. And? Oops. Okay. Commit, I guess. Thought I saw something there, but maybe not. Some of the graphics have been super weird on this map now. Just that they look like players in the bushes so much more than they used to. Yeah, maybe. And then I got killed in the beginning going to my spot last time on reserve and lost my gun. I bought this one. I'm hoping to get a couple back tonight, but they don't necessarily come back in 24 hours. So bad with the scope and this gun, particularly the scope, because I can never figure out where the middle is until it takes me. And I'm like, I know I'm shooting at like the second point over or something, and then I have to adjust. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't know what it. I guess I can get in the third floor, can't I? Okay, so we already. I thought the helmet would do more of the face mask. It hasn't really helped me much at all, to be honest. I got killed with killers on there as well. Maybe the guy was just a god. I don't know. Trump said the 75-year-old was like an anti-fascist or something. He fell over harder than he should have. Very funny. What? They're good guys, really. Fuck. I don't even know where that was. Tom's VX has been taken, probably by the guy who did open that room. I don't know, you could actually jump over here on the other side.